After decades of brutal civil war, Augustus anchored his new regime in an image of absolute permanence. He replaced the chaotic, crumbling republic with a centralized empire, using a massive program of urban renewal to signal that a new, unshakable order had arrived. This surviving stretch of the Via Appia shows how that order was physically maintained. Roman engineers laid down 250,000 miles of paved roads, using multi-layered stone and precise drainage to ensure their legions could reach any province in any weather. The dome of the Pantheon stands as proof of the technical leap that made this expansion possible. By mixing volcanic ash into their concrete, Roman builders could construct massive, unreinforced spaces and rapidly export standardized urban hubs to every corner of the Mediterranean. Over these roads, the state operated the Cursus Publicus, an imperial courier service. Using a network of dedicated relay stations, officials transmitted military orders and administrative data across provinces at speeds previously thought impossible. This entire network, the bridges, the paved stones, and the relay stations, functioned as a closed loop. It was engineered with one goal: to project overwhelming military power and maintain total control over conquered populations. But any physical infrastructure of this scale has a blind spot. Once a road is paved or a courier route is charted, that network doesn't care who uses it or what information they carry. The same highways built to lock in Rome's eternal dominance were perfectly suited to distribute an ideology that would eventually dismantle it. Moving past Roman checkpoints and into the heart of the provinces required a specific set of credentials. You needed a traveler who possessed the rare legal and cultural status required to move through the system without raising suspicion. Paul operated with the protection of Roman citizenship, an elite status that gave him legal safe passage and a voice in the imperial courts. He was a strategist who understood the inner workings of the empire he was moving through. He was also fluent in Greek, the language of commerce and elite education in the East. This allowed him to bypass local dialects and communicate his message directly to the influential residents of the largest cities of the empire. His travel records show a clear pattern. Paul used the Roman road network to target strategic urban nodes like Corinth, Thessalonica, and Philippi. He then co-opted the Cursus Publicus, sending administrative letters back to previous stops to maintain oversight of congregations from afar. By utilizing the empire's own logistical highways, Paul was running a highly organized administrative insurgency. Speed and physical access were only half the battle. To actually penetrate these Roman cities, the message had to be adjusted for the specific crowd in each forum. In local synagogues, Paul used Hebrew prophecies to recruit residents who were already familiar with monotheism. But to reach a broader pagan audience, he had to change his vocabulary. Here, on Mars Hill in Athens, Paul made a calculated tactical pivot. He translated his message into intellectual categories of Greek philosophy, allowing him to engage directly with the city's educated elite. This calculated adaptability pushed a regional sect out of the margins and into the centers of Roman life, making the ideology transmissible across every social class. For the first few centuries, this movement happened from the bottom up. Because the state viewed them as a threat, early adherents often met in secret, using cemeteries and crypts to avoid the attention of Roman officials. But the data shows a steady upward migration. Over time, the movement climbed toward the peak of the social pyramid, eventually winning over the same military and political families that ran the empire. Historian Ramsay McMullen argues that this final victory wasn't just a matter of persuasion, it was a strategic capture. The movement succeeded because it eventually took hold of the actual levers of political power. To finalize their takeover, the movement had to shift from using the empire's roads to controlling its legal and political machinery. This inscription represents the final stage of that shift. By the late 4th century, empowered Christian leaders utilized the Roman legal machine to issue formal decrees that banned pagan sacrifice and strictly codified acceptable belief. They used the empire's own tools of statecraft to suppress the old traditions. In a complete reversal of the earlier era, it was now the traditional Roman pagans who were forced into hiding, becoming marginalized crypto-pagans within their own borders. Today, the Colosseum and the Arch of Constantine are hollowed-out monuments to a political system that vanished, while the centralized religious structure that inherited the empire's network remains. Rome's engineering was meant to lock in military rule forever. Instead, by building a perfect system for connection and control, Rome accidentally enabled the total religious displacement of the ancient world.